was my last week of physical wellness, and we did a lot of personal reflection, just looking back over the past 6 weeks and what changes we have experienced in that time. And although I wasn't really surprised, it still amazed me when I was listening to some of my classmates share some of these really life-altering experiences that they have had in just a short amount of time. There's lots of individuals who have been making modifications to their diet, people have started losing weight, other people have started feeling better, more energized. One woman who's diabetic has actually gotten her blood sugar down to a normal range for the first time in years. And 2 individuals were also so incredible in sharing that they actually started to love themselves for the first time ever. In fact, nearly everybody did say that taking these past 6 weeks to really connect with their body has drastically altered the relationship that they have with themselves and their understanding of what it truly means to be physically well. It's hard to fully describe physical wellness. I have tried over these past 5 weeks and in these last videos, and I've given you little tidbits of sort of what we've been doing, but I don't know if that's fully conveyed what happens in the classroom. I know this is going to be frustrating to hear, but I truly do believe that this is one of those things that you have to experience for yourself. You know, from doing breath work where people are having these huge emotional releases and experiencing lots of tears, to talking about sex, to doing authentic movement where you just put on a piece of music and move your body however it feels like moving in that time. There were just so many of these magical little moments that were so personal and impactful. It was like we were in this pseudo hippie alternate universe that somehow suspended judgment and cognition and just allowed each of us to be whatever and whoever we truly were. Like, so cool. I personally had a lot of resistance come up, especially in breathwork. I would cry a lot and my body would often involuntarily quiver or cringe because I realized that I'm not really comfortable expressing emotion in front of people, which I thought I was. I thought I was okay with it because I don't mind crying, but I realized that I don't mind, some pretty tears at the end of the notebook, or, a little frustration when you're road ragey or something like that that is considered socially acceptable and appropriate. But when it comes to like raw, gut-wrenching, ugly crying and real, true anger and embarrassment and shame and pain, I was not okay with that. I had that super locked down. I did a lot of work on myself throughout my 20s, and by that I mean I read and I wrote and I talked a lot over and over and over again about who I was to try to find myself and fulfill my purpose. My intention was to understand myself so thoroughly and rationally that I was in complete control of myself, my emotions, and my destiny 100% of the time. And throughout that process, although I did gain a lot of insight about who I was, what I wanted, and especially what I didn't want, a lot about what I didn't want, I was never really happy or fulfilled. So physical wellness now has freed me from my mind and ironically has allowed me to access a really authentic piece of myself that evaded my rational search for years. I have learned how to surrender to the unknown and really just allow my body to communicate with my mind without trying to always make sense of what was going on and just trust and be. The body-mind connection is huge, like huge. I knew that coming into physical wellness and I really know it coming out. You can't live up here. You can't live up here all the time. And in North American, modern, fast-paced, productive, goal-oriented society, we are encouraging people consistently to try to stay up here and plan and just work harder and be better and do more. And it's driving us all crazy. That wasn't very self-responsible. And we are driving our own selves crazy by trying to live up to those standards and trying to constantly stay here and figure out how we can be and do better without ever just listening to our bodies and seeing what we truly need to be well and settled and calm and happy, regardless of whether or not that means that we are the most productive person at our place of work. Because you can be successful, you can be on paper successful and productive without ever being truly well. So for the last day of class, we got to close out physical wellness by doing a body image presentation. We had been asked earlier in the week to take 10 pictures of ourselves, a variety of some fun, serious, candid, close-up, and sexy shots of ourselves. And then they were printed out for us, and we were able to create this space for ourselves, almost like a little shrine. Then we all walked around the room and looked at everybody else's little display and wrote our own comments about what we saw in those pictures and how we connected with that individual throughout the course. So overall, I'm actually pretty sad that I'm finished up with physical wellness. I enjoyed it, even though it was very difficult for me and I experienced a lot of resistance, but I think I grew a lot and I think I would benefit even more the more work I do in this arena. So of course, I've already started looking at some more courses that I can do. There's one in particular that specializes in sexual somatics, which of course I'm super interested in. So stay tuned for that because it could be pretty spicy. That is all I have for you today for a little lesson with a touch of insight, but tune in next week because I am starting up the final wellness of the 4, which is spiritual wellness.